You went to a restaurant for dinner, and as you looked at the menu, you slowly pushed it away from you. Or maybe you're driving at night, and the oncoming cars don't look as clear as they used to. Does any of this sound familiar? You already know that most people brush these occurrences off as signs of aging, but if you trust me, I'll tell you that this is wrong, and that you've been led to believe something incorrect for years. Today, I'll talk about methods you can do at home that will benefit your eyes in no time. When you see how our environment, our biological makeup, and our habits play a role in these methods, you'll witness your perspective shifting. Let's get started slowly while you subscribe to our channel and leave a comment. The source of the problem. If you want to understand the cause of your blurred vision, stop thinking of your eye as a camera. Our eyes are actually like biological engines, and just like any working engine, they generate heat and waste products when operating at high speeds. Every time light hits the retina, a burst of activity occurs to send that signal to our brain. The retina is a layer of nerve cells that detects images and transmits them to our brain via nerve signals. This explosion we're talking about leaves behind waste. In our 20s and 30s, there are cleaning crews that remove this waste, but as we age, these crews begin to slow down, just like how a motorcycle's tires lose traction on the asphalt as they wear out. This is what we call oxidative stress, the buildup of harmful waste products that aren't being cleared away. So, to improve your vision, the first thing we need to do isn't exercise. It's a cleanup operation within our bodies. So, how do we do it? Do you have any ideas? The concept of internal sunglasses. When most people are asked what foods are good for the eyes, they say carrots and leave it at that. But carrots serve only as a basic source of fuel. If we want to improve our vision, we need to understand the concept of internal sunglasses. Imagine holding your eye in your hand. Right at the center of the back is the macula region. This is the area responsible for sharpening our vision and allowing us to see the fine details on screens, like those of phones or similar devices. This region we call the macula contains a yellow pigment. This yellow area is composed of two compounds called lutein and zeaxanthin. This pigment performs the function of blue light filtering glasses. It filters out the high energy light reflected into our eyes just before it reaches the photoreceptors. The more concentrated this pigment is in that area, the sharper your vision will be. But here's a critical point. Your body doesn't produce this pigment on its own. Researchers have discovered that these two compounds, lutein and zeaxanthin, act as a protective shield for this yellow region. You can find these two compounds in green, leafy vegetables like spinach and kale, but everyone makes a common mistake when consuming these foods. They eat the vegetables raw or blend them into a smoothie without any fat. However, these nutrients are fat-soluble by nature. If you don't consume them with healthy fats, they'll simply pass through your digestive system without being absorbed. It'll just be a waste of effort. If you're planning to eat these vegetables in a salad, olive oil or avocado is a must. If you say, no, I'll just blend them into a smoothie, then you need to grease not only the vegetables, but also the inside of your blender. The photoreceptors in your eyes love omega-3 fats, especially DHA, or docosahexaenoic acid. The retina has the highest concentration of DHA in the body. If you don't eat fatty fish rich in omega-3, like salmon, sardines, or mackerel, at least twice a week, you're running the engine without oil, and that's one of the causes of wear and tear. Let's say you don't like fish. In that case, I recommend consuming at least a high-quality algae oil. Don't view what we've discussed solely from a health perspective. These are among the most important factors for what we call contrast, making blacks appear blacker and whites appear whiter. If you don't like fish but use algae oils, please share your experiences in the comments. This will help those who don't use them. The blinking crisis. After talking about all of this, we simply couldn't leave out the blinking crisis. Imagine this. It's pouring rain, and you're trying to drive in it. Your windshield wipers are wiping just once a minute. Do you think it's possible to see clearly in that situation? This is how we can imagine the phenomenon that occurs when we look at a computer or other technological devices with digital screens. A normal person blinks an average of 18 times per minute when not looking at a screen. This is a reflex our body performs on its own, but that number drops to 5 to 6 when we're looking at a screen. In other words, we forget to blink. Your tear film consists of 3 layers: the innermost layer, the mucus layer, the aqueous layer that provides moisture, and the lipid layer that prevents water from evaporating. When we don't blink, the oil layer here isn't released. Consequently, the water evaporates immediately, leading to dryness, itching, and blurred vision. So, can we find a solution to this problem without counting our blinks? Ambient lighting. Whether our eyes get tired or not depends on how our environment is lit. When we use a computer or phone in a dark room, our eyes have to work twice as hard. It's no different from when we shine a flashlight into our eyes in the dark. Our eyes hurt, and they have to exert extra effort to see. Here, try to balance your room lighting with your screen brightness. On the other hand, there are fluorescent ceiling lights used in offices or homes. These lights interfere with our brain's ability to function properly due to the flickering they emit. This can lead to mild headaches or fatigue. If this is something you can control, make it a habit to turn off these lights and use a desk lamp instead. By adjusting the desk lamp using a technique called bias lighting so that the light reflects off the wall, you can regulate the room's overall lighting level. Eye muscles. Just as you might think, I'm talking about exercising your eyes. But is it exactly what you imagine? Let's take a closer look together. Inside our eyes, we have muscles called ciliary muscles that are responsible for contracting the lens to focus on objects. When we're young, these muscles are soft and elastic, like rubber. But once we pass the age of 45, a process known as presbyopia, defined as the loss of elasticity in these muscles, begins to occur. Of course, we can't completely stop the aging process, but we can slow down this loss of elasticity. The issues we face today are as follows. We spend 8 to 10 hours a day staring at our phones or computers while keeping that muscle contracted. Imagine this. You're doing a bicep curl at the gym and get stuck in the movement. You've lifted the weight but haven't lowered it. You're holding it in the air. What would happen? Your arms would cramp up. You'd get tired and want to give up. That's exactly what happens to your ciliary muscle. Now we have an exercise that will help improve and accelerate our focus. We need to perform this exercise, known as the near-far focus shift, with precision. While sitting comfortably, hold your thumb about 25 to 30 centimeters away from your eyes, focusing only on the tip of your thumb. We'll maintain this focus for 5 seconds while trying to see the lines on your skin. Then, we'll immediately shift our gaze to focus on the details of an object at a distance of 6 meters or more, such as a clock on the wall or a mountain visible through a window. If you feel a slight tremor or delay as your eyes adjust to the object at that distance, it means the muscle is releasing tension. Repeat this 10 times every day. This exercise, which takes less than a minute, is like giving our focusing mechanism a workout. Peripheral vision reset. Now I'm going to tell you about a technique called peripheral reset that hardly anyone talks about. This technique will be very beneficial for those who work at a computer. Modern life forces us to focus on small details. Messages, road signs, emails, and many other such factors put our nervous system on high alert. This exercise we're about to do will take our brain out of alarm mode and into mindfulness mode. Choose a point in front of you and fix your gaze on it. Without moving our eyes, we'll become aware of what's around us. Can you see the ceiling, the floor, the left or right walls? Don't look at them, just be aware of their presence. Imagine your eyes widening like a camera lens in wide-angle mode, and try to take in everything in the room at once. When you succeed, your breathing slows down, your shoulders relax, and you'll realize your parasympathetic nervous system has kicked in. With this exercise, we're essentially telling our brain, I'm safe, and I can see everything. Since this exercise helps relax the ciliary muscle, it will help reduce eye strain. You can do this in any setting you like. Changing habits. You don't need to suddenly decide to completely overhaul your daily habits overnight. Try this. Add spinach to your dinner tonight and drizzle it with olive oil. Tomorrow, adjust your screen brightness and room lighting to stop harming your eyes from the contrast between light and dark. In the afternoon, when a headache starts to set in, don't immediately reach for medication. Rub your palms together, close your eyes, and give yourself 2 minutes of darkness. Our eyes actually want to see clearly, and all we need to do is provide them with the right tools. Be mindful not to wait until we lose our eyesight to realize their true value. I'm curious to know what you think about what I've said. Will you set aside your habits and take a step for your eyes? Don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments. I read every single one. You can support us by liking our video and sharing it with your friends. Take care of yourselves until our next video. Stay healthy.